through domestic resource mobilization, either through joint ventures, self-liquidating transactions, leveraging from some of the surplus units into the deficit units so they can all grow together as a team. For example, if we leverage on the asset called a pipeline, or if we leverage on the gold, then the funds will now go into an entity like, say, Silo Foods. But Silo Foods' balance sheet is not strong enough to go to a bank to get funding. So within the fund, we now need to move money, cross-fertilize each other, take from the surplus, go to the deficit, we go grow together as a team. That's a strategy that the fund has been working on. We've been talking to, I see my brother, the French ambassador is here. We've been exploring some of these avenues, including tapping into the investments from France, for example, into the country, so that every day they've got plenty of areas that we're having conversation on, and which we believe that is also good for the country. So as a Mutapa, we're able to discuss that as an entity to leverage on that. This country, what it needs right now is a fresh capital for it to grow, not recycled capital. We need fresh capital into injection, which you call injection. Also, sometimes they call it the bailouts, but here there are no bailouts in Zimbabwe. So we talk about fresh capital. And as Mutapa, our role is to ensure that we put our heads in the deck to ensure that we find ways and means of raising that fresh capital into the economy so we can grow together as a people of Zimbabwe as we move towards the upper middle income society. The second one is to contribute towards, we want to contribute towards 10% of GDP by 2030. We are working with Zimstat right now to establish what is the percentage or the contribution of Mutapa to GDP and to exports. We want to have evidence-based, so don't just do thumbsuck. So we have contracted Zimstat to work on this assignment, to look at the contribution of the entities under Mutapa as they see today. So we are creating a dashboard at the fund on our economic indices. We are also working with the World Bank on technical assistance that they are providing to Mutapa for creating a dashboard, a financial and economic dashboard, so that at a given point in time, we know the cost of funding, we know the revenues within the group, everything. So if you take what the World Bank is working with us on, and together with Zimstat, that dashboard will be there at Mutapa on a real-time basis. By press of a button, we'll be able to know what the fund is all about, what is its value. So the World Bank is working on it, and we are finishing, this will all be commissioned by end of August. We're working with the World Bank and with Zimstat. All those things would have been done and finished. So the end of the day will be, when you can measure it, you can manage it. That's where you come from. We want to measure it, so we're able to manage it. So we can stable together as a team, Zimbabwe, we're able to give you information. That's how transparent and accountable we want to be at the Mutapa Investment Fund. Also want to increase production across all the entities under the fund. That's our overarching goal, purpose, to just expand. If you are producing electricity, we need to expand electricity. How? Through IPPs, through joint ventures, through solar, all those things. When you are in Air Zimbabwe, we need to increase production, which means you need to increase the number, frequency of flights. How do you do it? Either through leasing, through repair what is there. So as Enana said, we just need to increase the movement of freight in this country. So at the end of the day, most of the minerals are exported through rail system. We used to do it and we can do it. So so our overarching purpose and with why we exist is to increase that the economy moves. And why does it go that way? It means we preserve and safeguard and ensure that employment is guaranteed. We also want to mitigate against fiscal risk. We don't want to be a burden to the fiscus. We want to ensure that Mutapa does not depend on fiscus. But the opposite is true. We want to ensure that the dividends that the Mutapa receives from its entities, they then go to the fiscus. So at the end of the day, it will be the reverse of what used to happen with the SOEs themselves as individuals. Also want to build a stabilization fund to ensure that we help with the macroeconomic conditions of this country, to absorb shocks, support the general economic welfare of the country of Zimbabwe, and of course the unforeseen uncertainties or challenges. We want to be the Joseph of the country. When I say Joseph, I mean the real Joseph in the Bible, who when there was hunger, he was able to feed his family and that of Egypt. 7 years of drought and 7 years of plenty. During the times of plenty, when gold is going up, we're going to build reserves. When there's drought and other calamities like COVID and others, we need to draw down from the fund. That's our vision, and that's what we think is good for Zimbabwe. If you look at other sovereign funds, like Norway, plenty of funds in those funds, they've been doing it very well. Zimbabwe can do it also. It's easier for us because we're now copying from the people who've done it already. We're not creating something new.